What if I told you that everyone's favorite wrestler, Phineas, was a terrible person behind the scenes? Everybody in the comments section wants Phineas to be champion because they think that Phineas is their friend. But little do they know, Phineas has a much deeper and darker side to him that nobody has seen.
I'll be honest, I was gonna come out here, I was gonna cut a pipe bomb and expose all these people in this toxic community, but I held my breath.
But I have the footage right here. The banned episode of SMF Wrestling where Phineas reveals his true colors. And at Bash in Berlin, everybody wants Phineas to beat me and retain the championship. But after they see this footage, Phineas is going to lose all of his fans. Fetch me the DVD player. Let's get some exposing done, shall we? I introduce you to the pipe bomb that was banned.
SMF Wrestling sucks. SMF Wrestling fell off after 2020. SMF Wrestling is a hand-fed that uses cartoon Happy Meal toys. SMF Wrestling is not real wrestling. They don't try.
Enough is enough. Do I have your attention now? I have a message for all of you. And hold on a minute. Alright, guy in the ring through a table, and me sitting right here. Alright, this feels more like it. Do I have your attention now? Get ready for a little pipe bomb, if you will. And when I say I have a message for you, I'm talking about 3 people in specific. I'm talking about the real fans of SMF Wrestling, I'm talking about the fake fans of SMF Wrestling, and I'm talking about the fig-fed fans. So let me make sure that I make a very clear difference between the 3. To the real fans of SMF Wrestling, cover your ears because unfortunately, I have to break the 4th wall here in a few minutes. But stay tuned to the very end because real fans, we love you and we have a very special message for you in the end. But to the fake fans and the pig-fed fans, like that mark in the ring, listen up. And don't skip around. Prove to me that you can actually pay attention for longer than 10 seconds. Because the real fans of SMF Wrestling, when they watch this show, they say, "Oh man, Paul Heyman, he's such an evil man. I hope Ferb can escape from Paul Heyman. Somebody has to beat Ferb and stop Heyman and free him." And a Mark, a fake fan, will say, "Oh, Fanlocks can't book a show. SMF Wrestling's gone downhill." And a pig-fed fan just seems to disrespect us altogether. So listen, for the last year, everybody's been telling me what they think about me. But maybe it's time I tell you what I think about you. So sit back, open those ears, because if you wanted Phineas, well, you got him. First, we're gonna get to the fake fans. The ones who apparently used to love us, but now hate us. Who think that they were fans, but they never were. Listen, we love constructive criticism here at SMF Wrestling, but these people aren't critics. They say SMF Wrestling's gone downhill since 2020. It's not the same as it was when I was a kid. And the moment I grew up, it magically got worse. Isn't that funny? But then if you actually want to ask these people, okay, well, why did it go downhill? Why don't you like it anymore? They freeze up. They stare at you like a deer in headlights. They can't explain why. And a lot of them will say some stupid nonsense like, "Oh, SMF Wrestling is just so childish. I don't want to watch it anymore." Yeah, SMF Wrestling is a child show. It should air on freaking Nick Jr. Did you guys see that storyline where Ric Flair couldn't defend his tag titles because he was drinking and sleeping with a random woman? And by the way, shout out to our great creative team for bringing this stuff to my attention because they actually took the time to tell me all this, and now I'm gonna air it all out to expose you. The truth about these fake fans is that they're not just fake SMF Wrestling fans. They're fake wrestling fans. They're fake WWE fans. Fake AEW fans. People like this are what we call marks. A mark will complain about literally anything. Any match you do, any promo you do, any storyline you do, they will always find something to complain about. They hate watch. They watch the wrestling show specifically to find things to complain about.
Now I'm about to jab you right in the face with my truth, okay? Here's the thing about what you do, alright? Wrestling used to make you happy when you were a lot younger. Whether you're a 40-year-old neckbeard who still watches wrestling, or you're a 13-year-old going through puberty right now, you are clinging on to wrestling because when you were younger, wrestling made you happy. But now you're old, and now you're angry with your miserable lives because life isn't what you thought it would be, and life sucks. So you're clinging on to wrestling, just trying to get that last bit of happiness out when you don't like wrestling anymore. You're trying to force yourself to like something that you don't like. Like, for example, fun fact about me, I don't like sports. I don't like football. I don't like basketball, baseball. I think it's boring. So if you took me to a football game, I would say, dude, I don't want to be here. This is boring. I don't like this. But somebody who likes sports would say, yeah, please bring me to the Super Bowl. I love that stuff. That's right. I'm not going to force myself to go to the Super Bowl because I don't care about football. I'm not going to like it. But what you're doing is you're forcing yourself to watch wrestling because you think you like it when you've outgrown it years ago. Now you realize the problem. So for the fake SMF wrestling fans, do you realize that the show is the exact same as it has been since 2020, which apparently that's the last good time? Listen, it's even better than 2020. But on the rare occasion when one of these fake fans actually sees something that we do that they like, where's our praise? They don't say, you know what, SMF? You finally did something good for once. No, they don't. They disappear. They're all in for, oh, that match sucked. But when there's a good one that they liked, they don't give us the praise. They just stay quiet. It's a pride thing because they can't admit when they were wrong. But really what it comes down to is that wrestling fans have a reputation of being nerds who typically can't get girlfriends. And you know what? I'm one of these people too. I literally am a wrestling fan. But you guys try so hard to give me, SMF Wrestling, a bad reputation. You'll pick the smallest things to complain about. Literally nitpicking. Oh, Fanlocks mispronounced that one word, or Fanlocks can't do this right. That was lazy. You will literally dissect the show to purposely find something that you can slightly critique, even though it's really not important. But then you don't realize that wrestling is a weekly television program, and that if something happens one week, it's gonna matter the next week. But you guys don't know what long-term storytelling means, because TikTok rotted your brain. Now everything has to start, end, in a span of 45 seconds, and a swipe on TikTok. You need to get your beginning, middle, and end in 45 seconds. It's all dopamine. That's the problem. You've killed wrestling with your dopamine. The word long-term storytelling is not in your vocabulary. You don't know how to sit still and wait for something to happen. You have to have it all now. You're greedy. You're impatient. Now, of course, it's no surprise that everybody who watches SMF Wrestling is typically younger. They're like a bunch of 13-year-olds trying to tell me, a guy who's been doing this for over 10 years, how to do my job. When I study wrestling, I listen to people like Jim Cornette. I even take stuff from Dave Meltzer, Vince McMahon. I take things from Booker T, who lives like 15 minutes down the road. Yeah, believe it or not, we have people in our creative team that have actually been in the wrestling business. And every single person who I show SMF Wrestling to, in real life, real wrestlers, guys, every person who I show SMF Wrestling to, they say, wow, that's exactly what I learned in wrestling school. Nice job, Fanlocks. That's a cool little action figure show that you got going on here. Yeah. We know what we're doing. We study wrestling. This is our full-time job. We're not going to let a bunch of 13-year-old idiots who think they know everything because they read the dirt sheets on Twitter and Instagram. No, you guys don't know how to book a wrestling show. You're just marks, and that's okay. You can be a mark. Just know your role and shut your mouth. Shout out to The Rock. But you are the viewers. We are the professionals. Oh shoot, that stung, didn't it? This is probably how you feel when your parents freaking yell at you because they're older and they know better. That's right. You didn't think that, you know, all these little keyboard warriors who think that they're invincible behind a keyboard have all this power to talk trash about the poor SMF Wrestling. Yeah, you guys didn't think that I'd clap back at you, did you? Well, let this be a lesson learned. Never pick a fight that you can't win. You'd be shocked how much Fanlocks, the creator of SMF Wrestling, knows about wrestling. And it's a shame that nobody will ever give him the credit for keeping SMF Wrestling going for 8 years consistent. At least one video a week, sometimes more. Every single pay-per-view. We have never missed a pay-per-view. We have never missed a show for 8 years straight. We always have new storylines. We always have new debuts. Nobody will ever give us the credit for the longevity or the fact that we're able to stay this good even after all this time. No! Because everybody thinks that we're not as good as we used to be. Idiot! If I was half as good as I was, I'm still twice as good as you'll ever be! Wrestling is about
storytelling. That's what it's all been about. And I'm going to explain that real soon here in a minute. But first, let me just say, when a wrestling storyline actually pays off, it's great. And this may take months, this may take a year, but on the road to finishing a wrestling storyline, it's awful. It's like pulling teeth. Everybody complains about everything. Oh, the bad guy won. It should have been the good guy. Picture this. We're putting a kick-ass match in the freaking main event of a pay-per-view. Everybody's chanting, "This is awesome. This is awesome." And oh no, the bad guy won the match. He cheated to win. And 5 seconds later, everybody's like, "Oh, this is awful. Worst match ever. Bad booking, fan locks. Bad booking." When 5 seconds ago you were chanting, "This is awesome." And then we shock you, and then we create some crazy storyline, and the good guy finally wins, and everybody rejoices. That's called storylines. That's called wrestling. The thousands of fans love SMF wrestling, but you people call it a joke. And why do you call it a joke? Maybe because you see somebody like Finn the Goldfish, and you think that's goofy, because apparently wrestling, the sport where two grown men pretend to fight in their underwear, has to be taken so seriously. This again is proven by the fact that nobody can pay attention for longer than 2 seconds. Because the people that do watch SMF wrestling, and they do see it every week, they know that this stuff isn't treated like a joke. To a new fan, they are looking at a Phineas and Ferb cartoon character with a pointy nose and googly eyes. And to somebody who's never seen this show, they think that's a joke. But to the fans that have been watching SMF since 2016, they know that I, Phineas, am the most savage, loudmouth, dangerous wrestlers. Wrestling is all about personality. It's not about moves. Like the little internet marks think wrestling is all about moves and crazy spots. No. Wrestling is about the personalities. You tell me how good that Hulk Hogan was in the ring. Even Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock were very basic in the ring. But you tell me why. Nobody gives a damn about Shinsuke Nakamura or Johnny Gargano, but everybody still talks about Hulk Hogan when he hasn't even wrestled in like 20 years. Because personalities is what makes wrestling. This is sports entertainment. It's not a sport. It's sports entertainment. Nobody cares about what happens in the ring. Now, no. Do not get it twisted. I'm not talking about saying, oh, matches don't matter. No, you idiots, matches do matter when it's two main event guys with a bloodthirsty rivalry who want to kill each other, and fans will buy tickets to the pay-per-view to see them kill each other. That is wrestling. Nobody gives a damn about how good that your New Japan guys are, putting on their 40-minute supposed 6-star matches that makes no sense and everybody kicks out of everything. Wrestling should be psychological. It should be a story, a roller coaster. That is wrestling. I don't think like a mark. I think like a businessman. There's a reason why everybody loves the old SMF wrestling. It's because the storylines were so great. But go back and pick any pay-per-view. We did squash matches. We were younger back then. And then they want to critique the new stuff when the new stuff, an average pay-per-view is like 2 hours long, and there's like 20-minute matches on these new pay-per-views. See, it's all an illusion. This is one big circus. Nobody knows what they want. I have to tell them what they want. Nobody in a million years thought that a Phineas and Ferb toy could be the most popular wrestler on a channel. But here we are. I have to spoon feed you people because I know what is best. Okay, and it's not just me. It's an entire creative team of like-minded people who get the business. So there are people that can't pay attention for longer than 10 seconds. And there are old so-called fans of SMF wrestling that grew out of it and now want to call the new stuff trash when you don't even watch it, and you've admitted to yourself that you don't even watch it. You comment and say that you haven't watched in years, and you come back and you trash on something new because you don't know the storylines. I find it hilarious how everybody who still watches SMF wrestling every week says that this is the best that the show has ever been in history, and it's always the people who comment and say that they haven't watched in years. Those are the ones that are like, oh yeah, that show's trash these days. Make it make sense! Please, I'm begging you, make it make sense! But then you have another type of fake fan. And this is the WWE fan disguised as an SMF wrestling fan. Now, no, I'm not saying you have to pick one or the other, but I'm saying if you're gonna watch SMF wrestling, then don't expect it to be a carbon copy of the WWE! And when you compare WWE to SMF wrestling, you ruin it for yourselves. Like, for example, when Goldberg came back last year and he won the YouTube championship this year, everybody's like, oh, Goldberg, he's so old. Get him off our TV screens, SMF wrestling. But again,
Haven't we already established that SMF Wrestling is an action figure wrestling company? It's not real. Goldberg is an action figure. Real fans, I'm sorry. Cover your ears, but the marks are gonna ruin this for all of us. R-Truth is like 52. Does nobody call him old whenever he wrestles? See, Ric Flair's been wrestling in SMF Wrestling for the past 2 years. Ric Flair's older than Goldberg, but nobody complained about him. It's just because the WWE watchers, they know that Goldberg's old. And that's a problem. You don't come into SMF Wrestling with a WWE mindset. It's a different company, you mark. Here's something funny. A lot of the toys that we use on SMF Wrestling are from like the early 2000s. Yeah, a lot of you people weren't even born back then. So literally the toys on SMF Wrestling are older than the people in the comment section that are trying to get mad at us for booking a bunch of old men on our show. You done picked a fight with the wrong channel. You picked a fight with the wrong YouTuber. And respectfully, you just got verbally slapped. And then we get into the ones that comment, oh, we want this guy to join SMF Wrestling. Listen, speculating new wrestlers making their debut is fun. But when you do this thing, where you take every top guy in the WWE and you complain, we want Cody, SMF Wrestling, sign Cody, sign LA Knight, sign CM Punk. When you do this, and these wrestlers don't make their debut to SMF Wrestling, and you get mad, you are only ruining it for yourself. And there are some people I've seen that get so angry when SMF Wrestling makes a WWE reference or does a spot that was done in WWE. Again, you gotta pay attention for longer than 10 seconds because the people who do watch this show every week and don't skip every video, they know that SMF Wrestling is the complete opposite of the WWE. We have denied signing Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, CM Punk. We fired Roman Reigns. Why? Because we don't want to be like WWE. We want to be original. We want to do our own thing. Newsflash, WWE did not invent wrestling. Now, we love WWE, and I hope you do too, but please stop comparing us. Now I can already hear a little Mark boy being like, okay, well, you may not have Roman Reigns, but you have Hollywood Ferb, and he's just Roman Reigns bootleg, and Phineas is just CM Punk. No, you idiots. You didn't look deep between the lines. Everybody should know the real inspirations. I hate to have to expose the business, but Hollywood Ferb is not a Roman Reigns copy. He is an Elvis Presley copy. Go watch the new Elvis Presley movie that came out a couple years ago. Yeah, it's Hollywood Ferb, alright? Chuck E. Cheese, Chucky, is not a Cody Rhodes ripoff. Last time I checked, Cody Rhodes didn't friend zone a female friend of his that's part of a freaking faction. Last time I checked, Cody Rhodes isn't even in a faction. Guys, the concept of wanting to win a championship because you want to honor somebody who passed away, Cody Rhodes did not invent that. Wrestling didn't even invent that concept. And now, Phineas being a CM Punk bootleg. Ha, that's gotta be a joke. You guys don't realize that Phineas, me, I'm inspired by Eminem. I'm inspired by the real Slim Shady, baby. And will the real fans of SMF Wrestling please stand up? Hey, why is nobody standing up? Huh, that makes sense. Yeah. I'm an Eminem copy, buddy. And Eminem is known for verbally assassinating people who tried to diss him. And you're finding out the hard way. You created a monster, Marks! You created Slim Phineas! But back to the mindset of a Mark, because you guys are about to say, oh, well, you're not gonna sign our favorite guys. Then SMF Wrestling doesn't listen to the fans. SMF Wrestling doesn't do what we want. Here's the thing, you marks. A mark doesn't know what they want. They change their minds every single day. But it's just my opinion, fanlocks. Please don't verbally roast me. No, idiot, you just used the word opinion to cope with the fact that you're wrong. Here's the thing. You want to talk about SMF Wrestling not doing what the fans want? Do you realize that this entire show is built off of the fans and off of other people besides fanlocks? Did you know that SpongeBob, did you know that when he got fired, like in 2018 or 19, I don't freaking know, but when he got fired, he was never going to come back. But there was one guy in the comment section who commented, please bring SpongeBob back, bring him back, bring him back. And finally, we brought him back. Here's an elephant in the room. Did you know that Phineas, yeah, me, did you know that I was never supposed to even debut in SMF Wrestling? Fanlocks thought, oh, having Phineas would take away from Ferb. It would just be awkward having both guys in the roster. Well, here we are. You wanted Phineas, you got him. See, you have the power to change this channel. You can comment, you can make your voices heard, but not in the toxic way that we're exposing right now. If you could just, chant for fans, like Like you chanted for Gumby all this time, and now Gumby got his chance. I don't even know if that's happened yet, because I don't know when this pipe bomb is gonna air. Maybe I just spoiled it. Who knows? Maybe it'll never air. Maybe this will be lost media. And some of the old nostalgia goggle fans from back in the day, they say that modern SMF wrestling is brain rot. And the creative team, what are they smoking when they book this stuff? The only people with brain rot are the ones that have opinions that change every single day. They love a certain wrestler one day, and the next day they turn on that wrestler and they boo him out of the building. Like Seth Rollins, for example. Seth Rollins comes down to the ring, and he's a bad guy, and he does such a good job at being a bad guy that people start to cheer him. So naturally, Seth Rollins becomes a good guy, and then Seth Rollins wins a championship belt, and then 2 months into Seth Rollins' championship run, everybody says, oh, Seth's burying everybody. He's overpushed. Boo, Seth Rollins. You can't make up your mind. You marks are the ones with the brain rot. Don't pass off your stupidity onto us. And I know I'm all over the place. I've just got so much to say, but let's go back to the fans from back in the day who weren't actually fans to begin with. The 2020 SMF lovers that say that it's gone downhill since then. Here's the thing. In 2020, SMF Wrestling had squash matches for like every pay-per-view. There was a WrestleMania main event that was like 4 minutes long. Here's the thing. The reason why you all still talk about those old videos is because of how good the storylines were, which is once again proof that the storylines on a sports entertainment wrestling program is more important than the 25-minute match that people are going to forget about next week. Since 2020 to the present day, we have given you longer matches. WrestleMania had like a 20-minute long match. We've never seen that before in SMF Wrestling. We've given you deeper and more in-depth storylines, like Hollywood Ferg, for example. He started his storyline a year ago, and it's still going, and it hasn't ended yet. And for years, everybody begged for a women's division, and we have a women's roster. We have a women's championship. And ironically, everybody seems to be less excited about the women's matches, but oh well, we gave you what you wanted, right? For years, there was a rule backstage in SMF Wrestling that we couldn't do any kind of cage match. But since then, we have given you steel cages. We have given you Hell in a Cell. We've given you Elimination Chamber. We had a casket match. We even had an Inferno match with real fire. And we even had a Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. Speaking of Bray Wyatt, don't disrespect his legacy, because when he was alive, his Uncle Howdy storyline was the definition of long-term storytelling. And what did the internet think of Bray Wyatt back then? They said, it's dragging. It takes too long. We just wanted to see something to fill our dopamine now. We don't want to wait a month to see Bray Wyatt. Bunch of fake Bray Wyatt fans, just like fake SMF Wrestling fans. Freaking fake Bray Wyatt fans. Again, all a mark can do is complain. They can't pay attention to enjoy a storyline. They can't just watch the show and enjoy it. They have to complain. You know how cringe it is for Fanlocks in 2022 to be a guest on somebody else's live stream, to then have the fans hijack the chat being like, oh, Chuck's so bad. We hate Chuck. What are you going to do about Chuck? You know how stupid it was that Fanlocks, he had to expose the business and let everybody know, guys, just let the storyline play out. It's gonna have a happy ending. Gosh dang, just be patient and watch the freaking movie already. Oh, but I thought hand feds suck compared to pick feds, because hand feds, you can't get into the storyline because you can see a giant hand. Blatantly wrong. Egotistical, prideful people say that. I am proof that with the hand fed, you can literally make people believe anything. But you gotta have the talent to do it, and that's what we have, and that's what they don't have. Anyway, we'll get to them in a second. When you watch a superhero movie, let's say Superman, right? Let's say it's a 3-hour movie. When you watch this movie, do you skip right to the end to see Superman beat the bad guy? No, you don't, because if you did, you would be confused. Well, why is Superman beating up this random bad guy? No, what you have to do is you have to sit there for 3 hours and watch the movie. And during those 3 hours, this said bad guy is evil and he does evil things. So by the time you get to the end of the movie, when Superman finally beats up this bad guy, you love it because the evil guy had it coming. The bad guy had it coming. For all the evil he's done, Superman, the good guy, beats the guy, and it feels so good, doesn't it? Some of you marks will never appreciate SMF Wrestling storylines because you say, I'm gonna unsubscribe if this wrestler doesn't win. And that's the problem, because that would be like in the Superman movie, if the bad guy gets the upper hand, you stop watching midway through, but then you're gonna miss the part where Superman finally beats the bad guy. I hate having to expose the business, but it has to be done, unfortunately. SMF Wrestling is the type of wrestling show that you can't just skip over all the matches and skip over all the promos. You have to watch it, because there are little details everywhere that you'll never even notice if you just skip through everything because you can't pay attention for longer than 10 seconds. No wonder you think that SMF Wrestling has bad booking, because you skip everything. If you didn't skip everything, then you would understand why a certain thing happens. That's why you think there's bad booking. Whoa, SMF Wrestling teased that thing like a year ago, and it actually happened. Whoa, that felt good. I saw it coming because they teased it, because I watched the show. There are some that say, oh, we only watch the pay-per-views, SMF Wrestling. We don't watch the weekly shows. And again, that's like skipping straight to the end of the Superman movie. It's so stupid, and I know that's all you do. You click on an SMF Wrestling video, and when a match starts, you skip to the end to see who wins. And when somebody gets on the mic and cuts a promo like I'm doing right now, you skip the promo. In fact, I promise you, there's so many little marks that are skipping over the words that I'm saying right now. They're fast forwarding to the end of the video to see if Phineas does anything to this guy. Now, the real fans right now, they are happy that I'm saying this. They're in the back of the room clapping. Finally, somebody is standing up to these people. But I'm a positive guy. I'm a good guy, and I love everybody, even my enemies. So let me tell you something. To the fake SMF Wrestling fans, which are actually fake WWE fans and fake AEW fans in disguise, if you complain about WWE, AEW, SMF Wrestling, or you complain about any other wrestling show, then you aren't a wrestling fan. You have grown out of wrestling, because if you watch the show and all you do is say how much you hated it, you don't like wrestling. So because I love you, even the ones that hate me, I'm gonna do something for you. Dr. Phineas has a diagnosis for you. You, my friend, have grown out of wrestling, and you don't like it anymore. So this is my encouragement to you to go outside and find a new hobby. Find a hobby, or find something to watch that you won't complain about. But of course, they're gonna be like, no, SMF Wrestling, you are our childhoods. We respect you. No, you don't! Because if you respected me, you would respect my show, and you haven't. I don't want to hear, you were my childhood back in the day. No, I want to hear people say, SMF Wrestling, you are my childhood, and I loved your most recent show. That's who I want to stick around. And the real fans nodding their heads, you know who you are. To the real fans, if you thought that the fake fans were a huge headache and you thought that it couldn't get worse than that, I unfortunately have some bad news for you guys. So once again, you gotta cover your ears, because we're gonna move on from the fake fans, and we're gonna move on from the little pick-fed fans, whatever that means. A lot of the stuff that I'm about to say was thankfully told to me by my creative team, so shout out to you guys for bringing all this stuff to my attention. But there is a dedicated group of people who on every single SMF Wrestling pay-per-view, they hijack our comment section and they say things like, oh, I could name 100 other pick feds better than SMF. Here's the deal, buddy! We're not a pick fed! We are a wrestling show that just so happens to use action figures. There are other channels on YouTube that do action figure wrestling videos. And here's the thing about all of them. They all look the same. They all sound the same. They copy each other's commentary. But you can't say that about SMF Wrestling. Our arena looks different. Our matches feel different. Our promos, especially this one, they definitely feel different. We took all of the so-called rules about a wrestling figure channel and we threw it out the damn window. We'll show our hands. We don't care. We'll blend cartoon characters with real-life wrestlers. We don't care. That makes it more interesting. That makes it unique and not bland and the same like every other pick-fed channel. But you know what? I guess I'm wrong. Because all of your little pick-feds, they have a lot of views. They have play buttons. They draw in millions of views, and that's something that I never could. So you know what? You got one on me, okay? Maybe, just maybe, if I made a pretty stage, if I created a big stage, maybe y'all would like me. Maybe if I focused on doing cool matches and big moves, maybe y'all would like me. But if I did that, I would basically be a carbon copy of every single wrestling channel, wrestling figure channel on YouTube. I would be like everybody else because they're all the same. SMF Wrestling is different. SMF Wrestling builds a connection with the audience. A SMF Wrestling fan will cry tears of joy when their favorite wrestler wins the big match, wins the big championship after years of losing. We have a connection with the fans. And that's something that your little pick feds could never do, because you can't get a connection with the fans with your stupid AI generated promos and your big spot matches that give me a headache, the so-called stop motion that isn't actually stop motion. And hey, hold your horses, little Mark boy, because I can already see you typing. Oh, but SMF, you do AI promos too. Shut up! No, we don't! Again, real fans, cover your eyes, okay? I'm so sorry that I have to peel back the curtains, but it has to be done. Somebody get me Renee Young out here, please, Renee. Hey, Renee, how's it going? This is our backstage interviewer, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Renee, prove to the little Mark boys that you're not an AI voice, and some computer script that was typed on some computer program doesn't actually make your voice. How about you pronounce the word tomato as many ways as you can, please?
Okay, so there's tomato, there's tomato, there's, tomato. I'm sorry, you put me on the spot.
Oh, that's all right. Let's give it up for Renee, ladies and gentlemen. There's a huge difference between text-to-speech, AI, and actual voice acting with a voice changer. Know your facts before you come at me, little goof. That's all these comments are, is assumptions. Like, Fanlux is the only one booking the show, and he books it 1 week in advance when the other guys book months in advance. You're so wrong. You don't even know how this works. How would you know? It's all stupid assumptions, and they're all wrong. You know the main event of WrestleMania is already planned, right? Did you know that the main event of next year's WrestleMania and the year after that, those matches are already planned too, and we've got years and weeks to book and build to it and add little extra details. That's how we operate here. It's honestly criminal how less views we get than the other people despite putting in so much more effort. But I thought Fanlux doesn't try. Give me a break. We wrote every single word of every single promo, every single move, every single piece of voice acting. Listen, you need talent to actually voice act, okay? An AI-generated promo is just text-to-speech. The way we do it, yeah, sure, the voices, it may be a voice changer, but it's still voice acting. When Helen Henney gets ghosted by Chucky once again and she's sad, you can feel her emotion. When she gets angry at Mr. Munch, you can tell that she's mad. It's acting. It's talent. Unlike these other people, they have no talent. Your pick feds could never. That's the thing about SMF Wrestling. We're full of personality. We're full of unique moments. Like, hey, yo, this is our camera guy, Stu. Everybody say hi to Stu. Alright, have fun. You people try so hard to ruin my reputation. I just made a bunch of real fans smile, okay? But no, apparently, we're just a hand fed to you. Okay, well, listen, I didn't know what a hand fed or a pick fed was before my creative team told me, but here's the deal. A hand fed is not a bad thing. I don't know why you hate us so badly. Real fans, I'm sorry I have to ruin your time watching us. Cover your ears. Marks, what is so bad about a hand fed? If you would get over your little fear of hands, you would actually enjoy our show. But did you know that most of the real fans of SMF Wrestling never even noticed that there's a giant hand controlling me? In fact, there are some people watching right now that have been watching for years, and this is the first time that they've noticed the giant hand, because we create an illusion to where our characters are so real, and they feel like real people, and they have such big personalities that it makes you forget that there's a giant hand right here. Let me teach y'all a little something about YouTube history, alright? Because SMF Wrestling stands for Super Mario Fanlux. Super Mario Fanlux is a big plush channel, Mario plush channel like SML. Has anybody here heard of Jeffy? Yeah, guess what? SML almost got 10 million subscribers showing their hands, except they don't do wrestling action figures. They do, little plush skits, but it's the same thing. Okay, tens of millions of people, they get so lost in the story and the character work that these little hands, it literally tunes out. Nobody actually cares about the hands. It's about the character work. But see, here's the thing. The other channels, the other pick feds, they have to rely on hiding their hands because, oh, look at the talent. They did that move and they didn't even show their hand because that's the only thing that they can do to wow you. They don't have the talent like we do to actually grab your attention. They have to move your attention over to the cool camera shots and the cool moves and the cool, moves like, look at this. He can't see his hand. It looks so real. No, that's not how this works. Okay, we create realism based off of acting and talent, not off of cool moves and camera angles. I'll get to that in just a second, but on the topic of hand feds, I'll be the king of hand feds. I do not even care. And for all of you who are inspired by SMF Wrestling, who want to make your own figure companies, don't be afraid to use your hand. Screw these bullies. Don't let them tell you what to do. If you want to use your hands to tell your wrestling stories, then go right ahead. I think you're awesome. And you know what's really funny? If I did decide to stop using my hand and I did build a giant arena that looks the same like everybody else's arena, I could be the best wrestling figure channel on YouTube. If I brought my talents to doing that, man, it would be so great. But here's the deal. I don't give a damn about a pig fed. I don't want to be a pig fed. I'd rather quit than be a carbon copy of everybody. SMF Wrestling has always been unique. This is different, and it's going to stay that way. You know, Fanlock's the guy that runs SMF Wrestling, and for some reason, these people get so angry in the comment section that they literally not only give us death threats, they call us a bunch of nasty slurs that we can't even repeat right now, or else our channel is going to get taken down. Yeah, these are your pig-fed fans, ladies and gentlemen. These are the people in your community. And my message to all those big pig-fed YouTubers, get your fans under control. Tell them to show some respect to OGs. And thank you to the creative team that brought all that to my attention. And by the way, for the extra smart fans who think I'm talking about the creative team in my Discord server, here's the deal. SMF Wrestling has had a creative team since the year 2016. This has never been a one-person job. There's a team of people for years that have been booking these shows and making these characters and these storylines to make it the best they can possibly be. You'd actually be shocked to find out that Fanlocks actually has very little to do with the creation of this show, outside of filming, voice acting, editing, and uploading. Literally, this show is booked by everybody but Fanlocks, actually. We have everything. We have all the talent in the world, but apparently we're just a cartoon Happy Meal hand-fed that doesn't try. And our favorite pig feds, they actually try. With random Royal Rumbles that take place in pools, with shower matches, with real pube hair, with custom fat guy wrestlers who cut promos about eating Twinkies and they have Dewdrop as their manager. You call that real pig-fed wrestling? Gosh, I hope the creative team aren't lying to me about that, because if these other channels are actually doing that, that is hilarious, but I wouldn't know because I don't watch these people. Okay, I'm too busy making my show the best that it can possibly be. Now hold your stinking horses, Marky boy. Put your fingers down. Stop typing your little hate comment. Oh, but SMF Wrestling does stupid stuff too. They had a spoon with googly eyes. They had a freaking headless man and a head smiling ball guy. Listen, there's nothing wrong with goofy wrestlers like the pube hair on the other channel or our channel with our funny looking wrestlers. Here's the deal. Funny in wrestling isn't bad. There's the serious side who's like, we want serious promos like Roman Reigns and CM Punk. And then there's the side of wrestling who likes the R-Truths, who like the Santino Morellas, who like the Brodus Clays. Everything works, okay? Listen, if you like serious stuff, cool. But there are some people whose favorite wrestler is R-Truth because they like to laugh. And R-Truth is funny. And guess what? R-Truth will always get a louder crowd reaction in WWE than the internet's favorite Johnny Garganos or Ricochet. It's not about goofiness, and it's not even about seriousness, okay? Because the pig feds, they do their little shape-shifting dog storylines, and everybody praises it. But if I did that, everybody would be like, oh, this SMF Wrestling is just a complete joke. Listen, do not get my words twisted. I'm not saying that comedy wrestling is bad. SMF Wrestling was inspired by GTS Wrestling, the original figure show, not the human wrestling show. GTS Wrestling, the action figure show, was a complete joke, and it was funny, and it had charm. But we try to balance the seriousness, the funniness, and even the scariness, like Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker and all those people. We balance everything. This is a one for all, but that's the problem, is that not everybody likes everything on a wrestling show top to bottom. See, they may have loved one match, but they hated the other match. It's impossible to please everybody. It is a circus. You cannot please these people to save your life. I've never met these other creators, but I have huge respect for them, and I wish them nothing but the best, and I hope that their channels blow up even more than it already has. But unfortunately, the fans of these people keep hijacking me and keep giving me death threats and insulting me behind the camera. I think truthfully, the fans of these pick feds are just angry that they all copy SMF Wrestling anyway. I mean, we started using cartoon characters. They started using cartoon characters. I mean, come on, look at the dates of when our videos came out. We were here before them. Don't you dare disrespect OGs, okay? We were here before you, and we'll be here after you. We'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here next week. We'll be here months from now. But some of your favorite pick feds, they upload one video every month. We will make an hour-and-a-half long pay-per-view and then give you a 30-minute show 3 days later. Some of your favorite pick feds, they do it for the money. We do it because we're passionate about this. We make chump change from doing this show. It's not about the money. We could have and we should have walked away years ago because there's no profit in us for doing SMF Wrestling. But here's the deal. We love this. This is in our blood. And we're doing this because we want to. But since you little marks in the comment section have tried so hard to give SMF Wrestling a reputation that it's just a joke and it can't compare to your favorite pick feds, you've taken this away from me. You've ruined our chances to make this an actual job. But against all odds, we're still doing this. And we still have a slither of a hope that maybe we can blow up one day. We are the underdogs. SMF Wrestling is the Cody Rhodes, and your stage creator is the Roman Reigns. Maybe they make more money than we do. Maybe they get more views than we do. We lit a real fire in this ring. We'll do whatever it takes to entertain you. You know that I have been writing this promo for the past 6 months. Did you know that the episodes that you see air every week, those have been in development for over a year? There is no plot holes because we have plenty of time to fix all of the plot holes. Like, for example, I don't want to spoil it, but there's something going on with the tag titles in like maybe August. And it's going to involve a tag team retiring. And I already can predict what you're going to say. You're going to get mad because Fanlocks retired the guys. And it's so sad. Until you realize 2 months later, around November, you're going to find out why that happened. And you're going to be like, dang, wow, what a storyline. Yeah. Oh crap, I think I just spoiled it. Hey, who cares? This probably isn't even going to air anyway. You'll never see a storyline just abruptly end. Unless, of course, WWE has to fire some guy, which means that we have to fire them. Oh, but Fanlocks, why do you have to retire everybody? Idiots. You don't get it. Yes, I know, it's sad when an old wrestler has to retire. But The Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin, these guys have to retire because in real life they get old. But it's not even just about age. People have to retire because there's only so many things you can do with one superstar before they get boring. Because if Stone Cold Steve Austin never retired, right? Everybody will be saying, oh, that old man Stone Cold, he's burying all the young talent. Let somebody new take over. See? You're hypocrites. You don't know what you want. You don't realize this is business. People have to retire. And on the other side of the coin, either an old veteran legend, like let's say the Bunny, right? The Bunny used to be a legend when he debuted. And then towards the end of his SMF wrestling career, he began to lose a lot and put over all the younger talent. And the more and more he lost, the more and more the new fans realized that the Bunny is just a loser. They don't realize that in his prime, he was the man. He should have retired earlier. And that is why retirements have to happen. That is why releases have to happen. Do you really have the audacity to think that we don't know what we're doing when we retire somebody? Do you really not realize that we think about everything 40,000 times before we do it? You people keep doubting me. It's so funny. But it doesn't matter because you guys would rather watch brainless, mindless spot matches with pretty stages. And you know what? That's all right because we don't want you anyway. And let me tell you this, because I'm about to spit some truth that nobody could ever even think of putting together because your brains aren't that big. But everybody loves to pass around the word brain rot, you know, like it's skibbity toilet or whatever. No, I mean brain rot literally. I mean mind numbing literally. I'm going to use it in a wrestling context. And if you can't agree with what I'm about to say, then you're just ignorant and you're prideful. You see, in wrestling, right? When somebody goes through a table, it should be a big deal. Like, oh crap, that guy just got put through a table. He's got to be hospitalized. But the problem with marks is that they think that every single match should be 30, 40 minutes long. There should be weapons and explosions and all kinds of blood and craziness. And that stuff is cool when it's done right. And how is it done right? You take two main event guys that the fans actually care about, and you don't put two lower mid-carders, borderline jobbers, in a freaking 30-minute match because they have potential and they can wrestle, unlike these other people. No, newsflash, pal. Everybody can wrestle. Here's when you do your crazy hardcore death matches. You take a blood rivalry. I'll just use WWE. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns is a blood rivalry. Those two probably want to kill each other based off of the past storyline. Throw The Rock in there. That's when you do your, Tribal Chief rules, no disqualification, extreme match. But when every single match, somebody goes through a table, somebody gets lit on fire, it gets mind-numbing, nobody cares anymore. You set the bar too high. This is not wrestling. The wrestling business has already been dead years and years ago. All right, I'm beating a dead horse, quite literally. It's too late for the wrestling business, but even I can just try to just maybe bring us back to the glory days of wrestling when everything wasn't so oversaturated. It doesn't matter. All Marks want is to numb their brain and numb their minds to the crazy spot matches. We actually want to run angles here. We want to put on psychological wrestling matches. But it's sad. Nobody's going to care. Even though I just spoke the truth. And you can't even deny that. And now, I'm going to shoot on real wrestling, WWE and AEW. Because the internet has this reputation of being smart marks. Where they love their New Japan wrestlers and their NXT guys who are putting on these bangers and bangers. Makes no sense because all these people putting on bangers are a bunch of vanilla midgets. Oh, is that offensive? No, these people can wrestle. Oh yeah, they definitely can wrestle. I'm not denying that, but they're not stars. They have no personality. Johnny Gargano has the personality of a wet rag. He's just like the freaking pig fetters who have no personality. Tell me, Marks, does it make sense for somebody like Brock Lesnar to have a 30-minute match with somebody like Ricochet on pay-per-view? No, that exposes the business. Why should a beast take 30 minutes to beat a small guy like Ricochet? But Ricochet, he can do flips. He's cool. Actually, I think Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet happened, and it was a squash match, right? Yeah, as it should be. But Vince McMahon, he buries Ricochet for a reason. We push stars in wrestling, not the internet's favorite New Japan guys. Everybody talks about Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold, even John Cena. John Cena had this whole thing where internet people said, Cena has 5 moves. Now everybody wants Cena back now that he's retiring. Because John Cena, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, they were stars. And that's why they're the only wrestlers that anybody outside of our little wrestling bubble ever talks about. Because they're personalities. I just taught you a lesson in wrestling. I hope you enjoyed it. Now you know how real wrestling works. Okay? And if the internet got what they wanted, two small guys who can work really good but they have no personality, if WWE was based off of people like that and no actual legitimate superstars, you would all chant, this is boring, this is boring. You need heat in wrestling. You need people like The Rock coming out on national television and making Cody Rhodes bleed. Crap, that's freaking huge. That is wrestling. Shocking people, making people angry. It's never been about moves. Wrestling is sports entertainment for a reason. Finally, can I prove it to you people? This isn't even just about action figures anymore. I'm just ranting on wrestling as a whole. The wrestling business is dead. Now let's get back to action figures. And real fans, it's just about time to finally unplug your ears. We're never gonna quit. No amount of hate comments is gonna drive us away. We're gonna upload every week forever. And if one day SMF Wrestling stops uploading videos, you can just assume that we died in a horrible tragedy. And both the fake SMF Wrestling fans and the PigFed fans, they love to talk about how Fanlocks, the creator of SMF Wrestling, he can't book a show. Well, if you really want to get a glimpse of what it's like behind the scenes to run SMF Wrestling, let me hit you with a hard dose of reality. Since you love to mention Fanlocks so much, the guy who runs SMF Wrestling, how about you talk about Fanlocks with the injuries that he sustained by sitting and leaning over to film this show, the lower hip injuries, the vocal cord injuries, always having a sore throat from voicing every single character in SMF Wrestling, or how his vision is giving out from staring at a screen to edit these hour-and-a-half long shows. You wanna know something about Fanlocks? He declines time to hang out with his family and friends to stay here and make this show for a bunch of you little brats. Okay, Fanlocks has no social life. This is his life. He gave his life to do this for you, and this is how you repay him. Are you serious? This is how you treat the guy who wanted to be your favorite YouTuber, to give you every video that you wanted to see, and this is what you do. You literally have access to a YouTuber, one man, who can literally do everything. He can cut a serious promo like CM Punk. He can make you laugh like R-Truth. He can make you scared like Bray Wyatt. He can even turn himself into a pretty Barbie doll for the women's division. He can sound like a serial killer like Karrion Kross. This one man can do literally everything, and you don't realize the gold that you have right in front of you. You have a guy that can do everything, and even if his health wasn't an issue, because let's be honest, SMF Wrestling could be so much better if we had longer shows, like a 3-hour show, but Fanlox, once again, is one man, and there's only so much work that one man can do. But even if his health was perfect, and health wasn't a problem, SMF Wrestling would still mostly be the same product, because we get wrestling. None of you people could run SMF Wrestling because, as I've said, you can't even pay attention for 45 seconds. There's no way that you could commit to running a full-time wrestling show like this one. You cannot commit to writing promos, booking matches 24/7. While you're probably out there falling asleep playing Fortnite with Cheetos dust all over your hands, Fanlox is out here writing. He's writing while eating. He's writing while taking a crap, while seeing his family and his friends. Do you guys know, in the middle of the night, when you wake up and you have to use the bathroom and it wakes you up and you really gotta go pee, so you're stumbling down the hallway trying to find the door to your bathroom, and probably one eye is probably open and you're out of your mind, and then you let your fluids out and then you go back to bed? Well, did you know that in that time when Fanlox wakes up in the middle of the night, within 3 seconds of his brain shutting back on, there is 20 million ideas flowing through his brain. He has to whip out his phone in the middle of the night to start writing down ideas so he doesn't forget them in the morning. That is how dedicated this man is. He is a human AI. But that's why people call him lazy for being a hand-fed. That's why everybody trashes his booking, because they're jealous of Fanlox, because they cannot do the extraordinary things that he does. They don't have his talents. You want to know why Karrion Kross versus Frozone was cut so short at Money in the Bank? That whole show was cut short because Fanlox injured his back in the middle of that show. And all of you cried about that show. Yeah, disrespectful. Here's the thing, a lot of you idiots think that Fanlox back in, 2016, 2017 was this masterful booker just because he didn't hit puberty yet. And that's all it is. It's nostalgia goggles, because the old videos, the ones that you supposedly like, that's when Fanlox hadn't hit puberty yet. And his voice was all high-pitched. Yeah, guess what? It's the same exact Fanlox, except this one has more experience. And really, a lot of you think that Fanlox is booking this show. As I said earlier, Fanlox has a fraction to do with this show. Trust me, you would not like SMF Wrestling if Fanlox was 100% booking this show. I can already hear him saying, "Oh man, it's over for our favorite indie wrestlers, guys. Johnny Gargano's never going to be a top star in SMF Wrestling. It's over because Fanlox is so biased." No, he's not biased, because if Fanlox was biased, you'd be getting Zack Ryder as the world champion. You'd be getting Max Black from Two Broke Girls as the freaking women's champion. You'd be getting Kappa Mikey as the US champion. You'd be getting, like, Lefty, the hamburger helper mascot, as the Intercontinental champion. If you don't know, Google it. Trust me, you do not want a show that is booked by Fanlox himself, because he's going to push all of his favorites. He's never done that. Zack Ryder got released years ago. Did you know in 2016, when SMF Wrestling first started, Ferb was supposed to be the comedy loser who always lost every single match? But he was funny, and the fans loved him so much, and the fans forced Fanlox to push Ferb. Yeah, Fanlox doesn't do what he wants. He does what you want, you ungrateful brats. I think you marks might have messed up, because you might have just given Fanlox the idea to make a 2K universe mode on his gaming channel. Maybe he'll book the show 100%, and you can see that you really don't want to book in the show, and you should really appreciate the entire creative team that puts this show together. Because if Fanlox was booking this, it'd be a lot different. You know what? Stay tuned for the gaming channel. I'm going to get the message passed on. Let's see how a real Fanlox show would do. I promise you're not going to like it. So comment down below who wants to see the Fanlox universe mode coming soon. But anyway, back to verbally destroying some marks. And you are lucky. You are very lucky that we're still around, because if you treated anybody else the way that you treat us, they would have quit a long time ago, years ago. And I promise you, if any one of you little critics in the comment section took charge of SMF Wrestling, you wouldn't even last a single day. You would break down in tears. You would cry to your mommies. We spend 12 hours a day filming this show. We spend another 6 hours making the thumbnails and editing the videos. And then we have to deal with brain dead people in the comment section who make fun of us and wish death upon us because we play with toys better than the little pick feds. You could never survive the sacrifices that we make to get you this show every week. You people take me for granted. And you don't give me the respect I deserve. But I'm not gonna sit here and whine and complain. I'm gonna do what I've always done. I'm gonna keep going. Now leave. Get out. And real fans, I know you are the last ones that have stayed. I know you're still watching, so real fans, you can finally unplug your ears. No more fourth wall breaks. It's time to get down to business. What the real fans want. And I'm gonna get back in the ring. Get this stuff out of here. To the real fans, the ones who we do this for. Even though it's very hard for us to run this show still, we keep it going for you. I have just proven that we are the underdog and everybody hates us, but together we can win this race, okay? The real fans I'm talking to right now. You know who you are. The ones who send us your fan art. The ones who make SMF Wrestling tier list videos and review videos. And the ones who are in our Discord server and make theories about the future shows in SMF Wrestling, about what matches you think are going to happen, who's going to make their debut. The ones who study each wrestler in SMF Wrestling's career. The ones who keep notes of the win-loss records. The ones who can probably pull up some random episode of SMF Wrestling from 2018 and tell us exactly what happened. Those are the ones that we're doing this for. All the ones who bought the SMF Wrestling t-shirts. All the ones who give all of your attention to us. We're doing this for you. We have a deep connection. We love you. And we're gonna spend the rest of 2024 making the best damn storylines of all time, okay? Back to character for a minute. Phineas is here. I'm back. And I'm going after Hollywood Ferb. And there's something you can look forward to. I'm gonna restore this community. If it's the last thing that I do. I love you guys. Pipe bomb is over.
But SMF Wrestling does suck. It does have bad booking. It's just not good. It's bad.
I should have known. It doesn't matter. I can sit here for 30 minutes and literally tell you the truth with clear as day evidence that we are in the right. People are still gonna watch this entire video or skip through it, and they're gonna be like, yeah, but SMF Wrestling does suck. Here's the thing, man. You just made a mistake. You just did something that you cannot undo. You just opened up a can of worms that you got all over the place, and now you can't control, because now you've awakened the monster. This is the wrestling business, and the wrestling business is all about working the fans, making them believe something is real when it's really not. You, my friends, you just got worked. You fell for the first false finish. 1, 2, kick out. The match is still going on. It's time for round 2 of my pipe bomb. Well, welcome everybody to SMF Wrestling, a blast from the past.
That's right, guys. I'm the old Jim, and right now we are commentating over Phineas from 2019, straight out of SBW. Phineas is back.
And I think Phineas wants to be in a match. This is gonna be fun, guys. Now we got the old camera quality, check. We got the red hair Phineas, check. We got the pre-puberty Fanlock's voice, check. Now it's time to prove that it's just a bunch of nostalgia goggles, because we got the old Fanlock's back. He's here, straight from 2018, and he's ready to give you guys some new SMF Wrestling in the year 2024. We hope you guys get what you wanted. And the bell rings! We have Phineas versus the Mark!
Oh my goodness, guys. Here comes Phineas off the ropes with a clothesline. My goodness.
He took him down, slammed him down to the mat here.
Oh my gosh, here. Look here. He's gonna hit him with the slam here.
And there's a Phineas poke. 1, 2, 3. Phineas is the winner. And that right there was exactly what the old Fanlocks was. Pointless squash matches because he was a child. Well, man, guys, 2024 sounds really annoying. Can somebody please hit the reset button back to 2019 when everybody wasn't so sensitive and butthurt and sad and miserable? Let's just enjoy wrestling again, guys. And remember when I said that Phineas is an Eminem parody? This is Phineas Shady. Slim Phineas Shady. Please stand up. Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Slim Phineas Shady. And at this point, I've had enough of all the marks, okay? Because, actually, I take it back. I can't make up my mind. I freaking lost my freaking mind. I gotta say, thank you, Marks. Thank you so much. You've made my show better. When everybody complained about Stretch Armstrong and Finn the Goldfish and Chucky, that motivated us to turn those guys heel. That made a better wrestling product. Marks, I need you. You guys make my show better. Your stupidity and your awful L takes really inspire me to be better. I thank you. This is my therapy lesson. I realize I'm nothing without you guys. Please keep hating on my videos. I just realized this is the best era in SMF wrestling history because this is the first time in my life that I don't give a Yeah, I've officially lost all care. If my career ended tomorrow, I don't care. I'm doing this for fun now. I don't care no more. I'll let the world know that Phineas slept with Nikki Cross to become world champion. Oh shoot, I think I might have just spoiled the future plans at SummerSlam. Wait, this isn't gonna premiere until after SummerSlam. It's never gonna be uploaded anyway, so who cares? I'm just gonna say whatever I want. It's all character work. None of this is real. Phineas Shady's not real. Wrestling's not real. I'm working all of you. And all you guys, right now, you're little children. And when you grow up, either one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to mature and be like, dang, that Fanlocks YouTube guy, he was really, really talented. I shouldn't have been so mean to him when I was a kid. Or you're gonna turn into the old, 40-year-old neckbeard who lives in his mother's basement, who still complains about WWE and still complains about AEW, and SMF wrestling will just be an afterthought. That thing where you're like, oh shoot, I remember SMF wrestling. I was today years old when I realized that show got canceled. That's crazy. We are literally witnessing these people go through puberty in real time. Okay, they use SMF wrestling to get their anger out when they go on their puberty mood swings. Fanlocks, please, it's not that deep. Don't expose me. I was just trying to spread my opinion and give my thoughts. I'm a really big fan of you. You're my childhood. Please don't expose me. You all just got worked because little do you know, this is just a promo to promote Karrion Kross versus Phineas at SMF Wrestling Bash in Berlin in 2 weeks. This has been planned the entire time. This isn't a banned video. This is all part of the script. You got worked once again. I am that good at my job that I can literally convince you that anything is real. Oh no, guys, Fanlocks, he's done lost it. He lost his mind. All the hate comments have got to his head. Nope, wrong. Once again, Fanlocks doesn't care about these comments. He's too busy with working on other YouTube channels that you'll never know about. Other channels of people that actually respect him, but he doesn't care about what you think. It's so funny that you guys really think that you drove Fanlocks to insanity. He's just a normal guy. See, Bray Wyatt, rest in peace. Bray Wyatt was not a crazy psychopathic monster serial killer. In real life, outside of WWE, Bray Wyatt was a normal family man. He was a father. He was a great guy. Rest in peace once again. And just like Fanlocks is the exact same way. He's a normal dude behind the scenes. Everything you see here is part of a script. It's all written down on a piece of paper. Here's that piece of paper right here. It's all written down. Everything that I'm saying is part of a script. Well, I'm an SMF wrestling hater, and look at me. I drove that YouTuber into insanity. He dedicated a whole video based off of my hate comments. Ha 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 ha. No, you idiots. I'm doing this for fun just because I know that I can. I know that I can literally bring you on a roller coaster of emotions just like right now. I can work you into a shoot. That's a classic wrestling term. All right. Today, you were supposed to get an SMF wrestling top 10 best moments video, but instead, I decided to do this to help promote Karrion Kross versus Phineas, which is going to happen at Bash in Berlin, by the way. A couple weeks, stay tuned. Man, forget you guys. You guys turned me heel. Now I just look like an old man who's screaming at all these kids on his front lawn. Get out of my lawn, kids. You're ruining my old man life. That's got to be an absolute joke, and some people are really going to think that even after all this promo's like an hour long. No one's going to get to the end of the video, but if you did, hey, thanks. You're pretty cool. Thanks for giving me everything that I've ever wanted. You've been worked, by the way. Pretty good storytelling for a hand-fed, am I right? Pipe bomb's over. Stay tuned for Fanlocks' universe mode where he's gonna do whatever the crap he wants. We're in the Slim Shady era now. See you at Bash in Berlin. And please, do me a favor, Marks. Let me play with my toys in peace. Oh, and you know I'm just playing, Marks. You know I love you.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You just saw the real Phineas. He does not care about the fans. He said he hates you. Phineas is a two-faced liar. And at Bash in Berlin, I'm finally gonna take the title and expose the false idol in the process. Phineas, SMF Wrestling fans, TikTok!